Jam. Toon Jam.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Toon Jam. I am Matt.
And I'm J-Man.
And today we are talking about a brand new, fresh on the scene anime series, Yasuke. Let me tell you a bit about it if you haven't heard of it already. Yasuke is a Japanese-American original net anime series loosely based on the historical figure of the same name, an African warrior who served under Japanese daimyo Oda Nobunaga during the Sengoku period of samurai conflict in the 16th century Japan. Created by LeSean Thomas and animated by Japanese animation studio MAPPA, or MAPPA, it's all capitals, so, you know, say it how you will. The series stars Lakeith Stanfield as a titular character. The series was released on Netflix on April 29th, 2021. So pretty fresh. Pretty fresh. I thought it was even fresher than that, to be honest. I didn't realise it had been out so long. What have we been playing at?
I know. We've
sat
around for several days.
Several days. I mean, you know, it's less than a month, but still.
Yeah, I know.
But to go on, according to series creator LeSean Thomas, he was inspired to learn more about Yasuke, regarding as the first foreign-born warrior of African descent in Japanese samurai history. After seeing online images from the children's book Kurasuke by Kurusu Yoshio in 2009, after the success of creating his first animated series Cannon Busters with Japanese animation studio Satellite, what is wrong with me? I'm super sorry. Satellite and Meta Company. Thomas was approached by Netflix in 2017 to create future projects for the network. Thomas pitched 3 ideas to Netflix, with one of them being an action-adventure anime series based on the story of Yasuke. Netflix greenlit the project, with Thomas serving as showrunner on the series instead of a traditional historical anime series. The story was developed as a reimagined take on feudal Japan, set in a world of science fiction and fantasy elements such as magic and mecha. To set it apart from other Jidaigeki anime, today it's just the challenge of today.
Challenge is said.
Challenge is said, and I am absolutely fair. I'm so sorry. According to Thomas, he felt restricted in the area of doing a standard biopic, and he wanted to do a series with a sense of fantasy and romanticism, like what was done with other figures in Japanese history, such as Yagyu Jubei, Mitsuyoshi. I hope that's right. I'm so sorry if not. Nick Jones Jr., a lead writer for the series, has credited works such as Samurai 7, Rambo films, and Lone Wolf and Cub as influences to his writing. The series was developed with multiple seasons in mind. The music was... in addition to serving as an executive producer and part of the creative team, Flying Lotus also composed the soundtrack for the series. Black Gold, written and produced by Flying Lotus and performed by Thundercat, is the opening theme for the series, and the ending theme is Between Memories by Flying Lotus, featuring Nikki Randa and Thundercat. Each theme was featured in 5 of 6 episodes. Instead of going for a more straightforward hip-hop or jazz-focused soundtrack like Samurai Champloo or Cowboy Bebop, Flying Lotus went for an organic take, with the music being made in chronological order to reflect the main character's progression in the story. Flying Lotus stated that he went for a more synthesizer-inspired sound mixed with Japanese percussion, African percussion, and hip-hop elements. And as far as critical reception, according to to Metacritic, which sampled 9 reviews and calculated a weighted average of 72 out of 100. So good enough score, I'd say. That's that's like thumbs up territory.
Yeah.
Yasuke received generally favourable reviews. On Rotten Tomatoes, it got 91% of 23 ratings. So there you go. It's a high one, but you know, we know Rotten Tomatoes game.
Yeah.
Just doing what they want, willy-nilly.
We know how they work.
So yeah, there's plenty of info wrongly pronounced for you there. Have you watched this already, or was this? I mean, it's been out for obviously days now.
Absolute days, yeah.
Days.
No, it's just been sitting there looking at me on my Netflix list for just week after week after half a week. Yeah.
Same here. I just added it straight away. Yeah, I'll give that a watch, and oh man, it's taken me this long to get around to it. So
I know.
So it's fresh for both of us.
Mm-hmm.
What's Twitter saying about it?
Yeah, Twitter seems to be quite mixed on reviews, and oddly, there seems to be a lot of chatter just like about what's going on in the series, and not necessarily the series itself. But we've got a few pull quotes from there. We've got VFX Travis, who says, "Even at just 6 episodes, Yasuke on Netflix was really good. Just give LaShawn Thomas all the money to make whatever he wants."
Oh yeah.
So yeah,
there you go. That's a confident backing.
Yeah, that's like not only did I enjoy it, I want to see plenty more from this creator. That is a
yeah. So just to cover a bit of LaShawn Thomas, other shows that he's made that you may have heard of, Black Dynamite, the animated series, The Boondocks, Children of Ether, Cannon Busters, as we said, and probably the most noteworthy, The Legend of Korra.
Yeah.
So he's got quite a few to his name already.
Yeah, some solid credits there.
Yeah, so it's not a strange cry to make.
No. We've also got Token Dave 80, who says, "Finally watch Yasuke on Netflix over the weekend. Very mediocre, if you ask me."
Oh.
So,
that is a hard shaky middle.
Yeah, that is just solid on the shaky there. Very.
But you know what? But can I just say, Token Dave, thank you, because every week I look for a word that describes shaky middle, and as we can clearly see from my intro there, the word could not come to me. Words are eluding me at the moment. So mediocre, shaky middle. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
It's a kind of alien word.
We've got Marino Ricci as well. Says, "So no one was going to talk about Yasuke on Netflix. Come on now. I don't know. I can't tell whether that's positive or negative.
I feel like that's more of a comment on the reaction of the Twitterverse.
Yeah. I think it's like, why aren't we conversing about this? Why is there just why is there still Simpsons gifs circulating when Yasuke's been?
It's been out for like weeks now.
Absolute, just so many hours. So many hours it's been on Netflix.
But to be fair, Twitter is the kind of place where if you want to watch something, hundreds of people have already watched it.
Yeah.
So you could just check the hashtag and see what everyone's saying.
That's true.
As we have done. So, maybe she's got a point.
Come on now as well. Like I don't know whether that's. I don't know what they've got. I feel like they've got something, and they're waiting to get it out. But I don't know whether it's good or bad on that one. So that's again still up in the air. And then we've got GVF is. So they say, "No, I will not skip intro Netflix. I actually will let that play. #Yasuke." So someone enjoys the intro.
Yeah.
And I don't think we got to actually see it on this first episode, did we?
I don't think so either.
No, but I mean, you know, a bit of Flying Lotus and Thundercat. I imagine it's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, you know, if the ending credits were anything to go by,
Yeah.
I'm not really bothered. But at the same time, you know, that's me. That's just me, guys. That's me.
See, I like a bit of I do enjoy a bit of Thundercat, a bit of Flying Lotus from time to time. So you know, yeah, not too shabby, not too shabby.
Yeah.
So what did you think of the music going straight in, going in?
The music, obviously, I mean, I didn't really feel it stood out too much. Maybe it was this episode. It seemed very quiet this episode.
Right.
To me, I don't know if it's maybe I was, you know, maybe it was because there wasn't an intro. Obviously, doing this show, always looking out for the theme tune, the intro, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then maybe because it wasn't there, it just didn't kick my brain into, you know, check out this music.
Right.
But it didn't stand out as anything. It just didn't stand out to me. What about you? I mean, you're more musically minded than I am anyway.
So we say. But I don't know necessarily. I think we've got very different preferences on the music side. Although we do have some meat in the middle, I suppose.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed it. Like I think from the opening, there's like a sort of big action scene at the start. And I think the sort of synths and stuff that were played there, like I really wasn't expecting like that, because you sort of see the imagery of, like, you know, like old school Japan and stuff, and you kind of expect that sort of percussion that you're saying is put in there, you know. You have the sort of like musical tropes, don't you, of series where it's like, you know, if it's in the Middle East, there's someone chanting from far away. Like, it's inevitable. Like, that's just the way they do it for some reason. If it's in Japan, you know, you've got some, or it's like, you know, somewhere in East Asia, you've got, like, you know, the sort of old school percussion, you know, and if it's in Africa, there's drums. That's, you know, sometimes you get used to those kind of tropes. But so when the synths came in and stuff, I was like, all right, this sounds a little bit different to what I was expecting.
Yeah.
And yeah, when it piped up in the later scenes as well, I was like, oh, this has just got a real sort of left field soundtrack. It's just not what you expect it to go with. And I mean, there's the elements that do fit with the culture and stuff, but I thought it was mixed in quite nicely with something a bit different, which I think oddly the opposite made it stand out for me. So,
yeah, well, I think probably one of the reasons it didn't stand out for me is because it did fit so well with what I was watching.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't like, you know, you tend to notice stuff when it's either, you know, you're like, oh, I might listen to this outside of this, or this just doesn't fit. This is so annoying. This is so in my face or whatever that I'm noticing it. Whereas for me, I do think it fit, because when you think about the actual world, it's this bizarre mixture of history, future. Like it says it's set in, you know, 1500s.
Yeah.
And then you've got these like giant, like mechas, you know, Gundam wing things flying around.
Yeah.
And
that was really early on as well, wasn't it? Like, like it barely opened up, and it's like, oh, okay, well, this is going on now. This is not.
Yeah. So it's maybe it's kind of all of that strange mix. That is the soundtrack as well, isn't it? Really.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, it does. It does kind of fit oddly in that way. Like it fits the mix of styles of what's going on in the episodes as well. Yeah. I was quite pleased with how it sounded. You know, and I mean, like it's scored as well. It's not just like random beats put in and stuff. You know, there's moments where, you know, you're getting like drones of whatever for tension, and then, you know, when there's a fight scene about to happen, things start to pick up the pace and stuff. Like it's still well put together. I enjoyed the soundtrack. You know, we just didn't get the theme tune though. That was upsetting.
Yeah, and I think I need that as a viewer.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about this the other day, like, you know, obviously if a film had a theme tune, It'd be the weirdest thing.
It really would.
Yeah. If it just had like an intro, you'd just be like, what the hell is going on here? You'd think it was a joke. But when a TV show doesn't have one, you're kind of like, oh man,
Yeah.
where's the intro? Because even though it doesn't fit stuff, and I think sometimes that's what makes it more cinematic, is when you don't have an intro.
Yeah.
But there's something about having that, because with episodes, obviously, you know, you're tuning in all the time, and when you get that intro, it's like it gears you in. You're ready.
Yeah. There's an identity though there, isn't there, as well, with the having an intro. Like, you know, you identify a series by its sound that way, you know. And I think the series that do have a specific intro and an intro theme, you know, I think they've just got an extra element that the ones that don't have. And sometimes, you know, they can play to it as well. You know, if you might have seen maybe you've seen a series where the final episode where everything's tying up, they play the theme tune, and it sort of almost comes all the way back around, and it's like, oh no, it's really the end, because we're hearing the thing that opens the show is now at the end of what. And you know, it can be a really powerful moment, as sort of stupid as that sounds. It's like, oh no, it's the true ending.
You know, when something's got a theme tune, I mean, how many times, you know, look at Spider-Man, there's been loads of different films, and every now and again they'll bring in that old cartoon series theme tune in some way to either the soundtrack or the film, and you're always like, oh yes. But you imagine a moment where like Spider-Man is pretty much defeated, but then all of a sudden, you know, maybe he lifts, you know, like in one of them he lifts some giant thing that's crushing him. And if they played like a slow version of the theme tune, then you'd be like, oh boy.
Yeah.
Like Spider-Man, yeah. Yeah, there's no greater. It's like when He-Man, you know, when He-Man says, "I have the power."
Yeah.
You know, when he said, you have to wait to the right point to say it.
Yeah.
Because then you get everyone pumped.
And
that's what the tune can do.
And I mean, the Thundercats do it as well. Like that's pretty much the point of Lion-O saying that is just he's basically saying to the sound guy, like, start the music. He says Thundercats. Oh, and that, you know, that's him nodding to the sound guy, like, here we go, and then you can just hear it in your head already.
Exactly, yeah.
But we didn't get that.
I've got this sort of memory, and I don't know if it's true or if I've made it up, but I feel like, was it in the Pokemon film or in a Pokemon moment where Ash is finally like, he's doing something, you know, that's actually good, and then the Pokemon theme started playing, like the actual TV theme.
Oh, I don't even remember that. You knew he was
going to win. I don't think I've made that up, but that's something that you're like, oh boy.
Yeah, I can imagine that working perfectly. Yeah.
Maybe that's why. But yeah, to go, like, let's leave the soundtrack for a moment. And we did touch on it, just the mixture of elements. So obviously we know it's set in the 1500s, the 16th century.
Yeah.
And the first thing we see is like samurai battles, and then there's like all this weird like magic going about, and then there's mechs.
Yeah.
How does that make you feel?
Personally, I was overjoyed to see some element other than just old Japan. Because that was my biggest fear going in, was that it's like, oh man, this is going to be so old. Like, you know, these people they have like zero technology, and, you know, it's just so many old-timey problems. It's like, you know, they're in a feud with these guys, and it's probably because someone sent a letter and it didn't get there, because they just have, you know, there's no tech. Like, you know, maybe if you could have texted him or something, there'd be no feud, and it'd be a different Japan altogether. And, you know, so yeah, for me, you know, I don't like things of the past too much. I mean, if the year doesn't start with at least a 2, I'm pretty upset already. So, to have something else come in, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm into this. I think I need those other elements. And I know that upsets a lot of people. A lot of people on Twitter seem to be like, why is this going on?
Yeah.
How did you feel about it?
I didn't like it, and I'll tell you why. Because it was like, it wasn't somewhat. I mean, it didn't. At first, I was like, look, I know I don't like this because you know me, I'm the opposite.
Yeah.
I like the old stuff. But I'll take it for what it is. It's obviously part of the show. But the robots, let's call them robots for now. The mechs, the robots. They just looked like, they didn't look anything like new, or they like you'd seen them in other stuff, and you just like, if they're making those, why are they using like swords and not guns? And it makes you question everything. Do you know what I mean? Because they've got these giant things like that, you just wouldn't use other stuff like that. You wouldn't be that. Everything wouldn't still be 16th century.
No,
it would change everything. And I know that it's overthinking it. I do and I'm happy to switch it off while I'm watching it. But at the same time, if I was to say, do I like it? No, I don't.
Yeah.
It was like, because it happens again at the end of the episode, and there's another robot mech, whatever. And it was okay, it was fine, but at the same time, you're just like, I can't get on with it. Can they not even like make them look old in some way? Make them look a bit more of the time.
Yeah, I mean, I think that first giant one kind of looked a bit more. It looked like it had samurai armor, didn't it, or something like that? So, like that kind of.
They've got all this magic stuff in it. Like, do something that just looks a little bit like that, so your brain can just be like, okay, I'll take it.
Yeah.
But when they were full on like military,
I think the robot at the end was more jarring, because that just literally just looked like a mech suit that was automated or whatever. Like it was, like
I'm sure it had like numbers on it.
Yeah, like it was from a production line.
Like an American like production line robot.
So but it does kind of mess with the world building there, doesn't it? Really. Because why are you still operating a fishing boat when there's literally, like, I'm sure propellers have been invented somewhere in the world. So
just get a speedboat. Just it doesn't even need to be. It just needs to be an engine on the boat, and then it just makes you question things. That's the trouble.
That's it.
So didn't really get on with that, but I don't feel like it was, at least in this episode, present enough to make you think about it too much. Like when it was on, you were like, "Ooh," but when it wasn't in it all that much, and you sort of got used to it, and you could kind of forget it, I think.
Yeah, we did spend a lot of time just sort of like in the village, essentially, didn't we? Like,
he's like down and out. He's lost his way. Yeah, I mean, the episode's called Ronin, which means a samurai with no master, which is what he is now.
How did you feel about the sort of what we got of the story at the minute?
Yeah, I liked it. I mean, so I had a quick look into Yasuke as a historical figure, and from like, it seems like this episode takes, we see a flashback of him arriving in Japan, and that's all based on what actually happened. They believe that Nobunaga, this was the first black man he'd seen, so he made him strip down from, take his top off basically, and they tried to like wash him just to prove that it wasn't fake, because he thought he had ink on his skin. We see all that in the episode, so I thought that was pretty cool. I like the historic side of it, and I don't think we know all that much about him. So you're going to have to make up a load of stuff anyway. Yeah. And it puts him in something new. And for me, anything that turns people onto the history of something. Yeah. As long as it's based on the history, you can go and do that yourself. You don't have to worry too much about. It's clearly not. No one's going to be like, did you know in feudal Japan they had mechs? It's crazy. I didn't know that. So, almost, if anything, like it's probably better that they do stuff like that.
So they separate it, yeah.
Yeah, so you can sort of take it with a pinch of salt.
Mm.
Because, you know, if you watch something that's you believe is based on a true story and is completely wrong, then you kind of start to wonder why they even used that person.
Yeah.
In a way, like a little bit wrong, fine, but when it's so ridiculous. Whereas with this, it works.
Yeah, because it's sort of like a forgotten figure anyway. So like they're sort of bringing them into the limelight and also getting, making a sort of a different kind of show about it at the same time.
Yeah, and I think it works well.
Yeah, I think so too. Like I mean, just the sort of the concept alone is like it does make you interested. Like, who was this guy, sort of thing. Like it does kind of make you want to, start doing some research and finding out what was going on. So I think it's pretty successful in that fact.
And it is what they've done. They've done a really good job of making it super intriguing. Like you're hooked.
Yeah.
I would say, like by the end of the episode, and it kind of ends on a bit of a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
I would say, and then you're kind of like, oh yeah. I mean, it's the classic Netflix, isn't it? You just want to watch the next episode.
Yeah.
But I purposely had to pull myself away just so that I didn't, start spouting things on here that didn't happen in the first episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was intriguing, and it was cool. It was a cool setting. It looked really nice.
Yeah.
And I mean, we've talked about it before. I'm not a huge fan of anime, but I've not seen that much of it, so it's always cool to watch stuff. But yeah, this was like, it had all the things that you hear people sort of praise about anime. It did look really nice. The animation was really good.
Yeah.
And it's, nowadays anime is the only place you can really go to get a serious cartoon series. I mean, that is changing a little bit as we've discussed, but you can kind of get a serious story out of something.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So that's cool. Okay, well, before we go in too much depth on our own feelings, shall we head over to our reviews and do it there?
Join us on a deep history dive into the history of all humanity and all mech kind. Our journey begins far, far back in the Stone Age.
Cavemen, you know them well, using rocks and spears. But how did they deal with the dino mechs of the time, the T-mechs, the king of all mechs, or even the mammal mechs like the mechmoth, woolly, synthetic, dangerous?
The danger didn't stop there, though, as we moved swiftly into ancient Egypt, where mechs were giant, enormous creatures that dug themselves deep into the earth. And today, we call those very tippity-top of their heads pyramids.
That's right! Mechs were giant diamond shapes, digging themselves in the ground and burying kings within their hearts. The ancient mechs of Egypt.
And then we move over to the Azmechs, further over to the west there, and here we see giant columns of golden, shining, beautiful mechs, the beautiful golden finish, who loved gold.
Still unfound today, the city of Mechdorado, Golden City, each building a mech, numbered 1 through to 100, it is believed.
And the mechs didn't stop there, as they moved swiftly over to the east and found themselves in conflict in Japan. Here, giant mech warriors were formed, and they went deep into the heart of the villages, up into the mountains, and fought one another for years after year after year.
That's right. Join us on a history through space, time, and machinery for mechs A comprehensive history. Okay, so here at Toon Jam we have a 3-point rating system that goes as follows. Thumbs up, a banging theme tune. Thumbs down, mechs in the wrong place. And shaky middle, mediocre. Thank you, Toon.
Yeah.
If you're still listening, if you ever did. So good, bad, mediocre. Okay, so here we go. We've got the episode. Yasuke, episode 1. Your thoughts?
For me, I really enjoyed how it looked. I thought, it's got solid production value for going in and watching an anime. Looked really nice. I thought the story was intriguing. It's cool that it's based on a historical character as well. We've got a little added bonus there. And these extra elements, we've got a bit of magic and crazy business there, as well as these mechs. We've got giant, the huge ones, skyscraper size. We've got all the bots floating around with ice powers and stuff. Whatever's going on there. See, that for me, that really does it. It might not be for everyone, but for me, that ticks some boxes, and it made the sort of the kind of I guess sort of slower paced life of back in the day seem a lot more interesting to me, and it just added something different to it. And I think overall the story was, it was pretty gripping. Interesting characters that were likable, and episode 1 made you want to watch more, like we've said. So I really don't think there was anything in there that I didn't like. And I mean, the music as well on top just kind of was the cherry on top. So I'll definitely be going back to watch some more. So for me, it's going to have to be a thumbs up.
Oh boy, that's a grand review there. Yeah, I mean, what to say that you haven't already said? It is, I think for me, let's start with the thing I didn't like. Obviously, is the thing that you did like, the mech stuff. I didn't hate it, but it was slightly jarring, and it was the kind of thing that it was the reason I hadn't already started watching it, is because I'd seen a trailer and it looked too, I'm trying to think of the word, it looked too extreme for what I wanted from a historic story. But I am glad that we covered it. I'm glad I watched it, because I think once you get rolling and you get any preconceptions out of the way, and I do think once you get used to whatever, it becomes its own thing, and you forget it. So it's not enough to at all put anyone off, I don't think, or it shouldn't be enough to, because the story is solid. Like you say, it's got a historic factor, but it has also, I mean, anything that can make you watch history.
Yeah, there you go.
Then that's pretty good in my eyes. So yeah, I think it's got something for everyone really, and it seems it's so intriguing. I want to see the next one. So yeah, I too am a thumbs up.
Oh.
So there you go. We're on a roll.
Oh man.
We're on a roll. It's been a 3-week thumbs up.
Not too shabby.
Not too shabby, but is 3 the magic number? Is this where it ends?
See, that's what they say. That is what they say. They say 3 is the magic number.
Yeah.
And I believe that. I believe there's some power in 3. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. So it could be the reverse. We could get 3 weeks of absolutely the opposite.
Oh no.
We shall see. We shall see. I hope that you enjoyed today's episode at home. Thank you for listening. If you did enjoy it, please feel free to give us a rate and review on whatever you listen to. It really helps other people find us, and it makes them think, oh, hey, maybe this is all right. So please, it's free, it's easy. If you want to give us even more support, you can do so by going over to our Patreon and getting hold of some bonus episodes. That's patreon.com/toonjampod. We also have a merchandise store where you can pick up some t-shirts, you can get a face mask, you can get mugs. Check it out. It's bit.ly/toonjamshop. Otherwise, all that's left to say is, once again, thank you for listening. And until next time, you stay jammy.
Hey everyone, thank you for listening. If you want to help the show keep going, you can be extra jammy by heading over to our Patreon page at patreon.com/toonjampod. Here you can get a shout out on the show or unlock bonus episodes. Ratings and reviews anywhere you listen to the podcast also really help us out. So thank you and stay jammy.